Have you never gathered kinsmen and friends to your hearth to raise your voices in song, for the pleasure of singing? Do each of you now live in such misery that you must deny the sound of laughter? Are you grown so hard that the touch of a friend's hand upon your shoulder is nothing more than the touch of wind upon stone? Hello and welcome to Liam's Lyceum. I'm your host Liam, aka Hemvar, and today I'll be doing a spoiler-free review of Stephen R. Lawhead's Taliesin. Taliesin is a 1987 novel by Stephen R. Lawhead, and it is book one in the Pendragon Cycle. Whether that series has 3 books, 4, 5, 6, 7 books is a little up in the air, but it is the first one in the series nonetheless. So, so our narrator actually tells us that he is captive and will write a rite of Atlantis, so the people, are not forgotten. The first recounting, the palace called Isle of Apples, or Avalon really, is very Mediterranean. A Greek character, or rather, she has a Greek name, and it is Charis, though of course being Atlantis, it's also connected here in a sense, or in a way to Lyonesse, but again, not directly either. And it seems to be taken from a kind of a Minoan Crete idea, which is the most likely source for the Atlantis myth. And this is historical fiction, but obviously with some liberties and pretty fantastic an approach, which makes it easy to forgive the historical bits, particularly the Atlantis bits. So we first learn of a great council of Belin, of Avallac'h, Nubi, and of the Leothal, which is a stone in Ireland, by the way. Anyways, I was surprised to see Poseidonus mentioned, not something I've seen very much, but we also meet Gwyddno, watching for Irish raiders and seeing to help a man thought cursed, named Elfin. He has not consulted the bard and druid about this aid that he wants to give Elfin, though. Snow is coming, even though it's almost Beltane, so around May, I guess, like April or early May. The focus of the book, though, is of course Taliesin, a mysterious and providential origin. The story revolves around fortunes, signs of Atlantis, and the Britons, Romano-Britons. As it's early enough, Rome still holds the province, so we find out Martin of Tours is alive as well, which kind of narrows the period this takes place in. Moves swiftly, the focus is dialed in, we get relationships, magic, portents. It's all clean and straight to the point and done well. Charis deals with being ignored, seen as worthless, more of a burden, though she is astute and has great potential. Elfin himself has doubters, and then he kind of has to deal with pride as well. There's lots of dark things that happen to both these characters, and while this happens, I was curious how it was going to connect more strictly with the tale of Arthur, as this is very much a pre-Arthurian story. But it is a fun discovery, and it is a fun adventure. The story is divided into parts and takes place over several years. Connecting the classical with the far-flung early medieval Britain is a popular motif, actually, in medieval works. I'm not sure if that's what Lawhead was going for, but another thing very fitting in medieval tradition is the religion. While we get druids, bards, Bel, Mithras, Isis, etc., Christianity comes slowly into focus in this book, and it's not quick, but it's definitely not subtle, but it comes about either. That being said, it's still a story of myth creation, largely things that can lead into a proper Arthur story. The story itself is a bit uneven, sometimes great, sometimes not so much, but I must admit the last few chapters almost had me crying a few times, and I had to hold some tears in. I will say my favorite character in this book is probably Charis. I really like Taliesin too, again, though he doesn't even really come in until a little later in the book as well, but Charis has an insanely cool scene, a bowl brewing dancing thing, like again kind of like Minoan thing, the coolest one I've ever seen in a book, honestly. And now, I wrote this review when I was reading the book, but now I've actually read the first 5 books in the series, and I can just easily say that this is my favorite book in the series of the 5 that I've read. So take that as you will. The other books are still enjoyable. This one is just good, enjoyable, new, interesting. And again, that bowl scene with Charis is chef's kiss. Anyways, Liam from Liam's Lyceum. I'll catch you next time.